Hello everybody, Inter back again with another video, and today's video, guys, is gonna be about my top 10 list about the greatest tennis matches of all time, at least in my opinion, which I believe are the 10 greatest tennis matches of all time. And it is not necessary that you guys will agree with me. Probably you will not. You probably have your own lists, but at least this is how my list looks like. I'm gonna start with number 10, and then I will go and finish with number 1. And of course, number 1 is the greatest tennis match of all time, in my opinion. And guys, let's not waste any time and let's get into it. On my number 10th place, I have the match between Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal back in that 2017 Australian Open final. This was an epic one. This was not very long match. It was long, but not as long as the other 9 matches that I will mention. This match, this 2017 Australian Open final, took 3 hours and 37 minutes. Because when I look at the match, when I grade the match, when I value a match, I look at all aspects. I look how long the match has been. I look at the drama in the match. I look at the intensity. I look at the rallies. I look at everything, because I don't look just at the length. Because if I did that, I would have the John Isner, Nicolas Mahut on this list as a match as well. On this list, the longest tennis match of all time, which took place in that Wimbledon 2010 first round. The match was 11 hours and 5 minutes, I believe. It was a crazy long match, but I cannot have that match on this list because they were only doing services, basically, more or less. So that was not that crazy fun to watch. So it is not only the length I look, but the length of the match is one of the parts that I look. And this match between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, it really had everything. Besides, it was not crazy long. It took 3 hours and 37 minutes. But the drama was there, the intensity was there, the shot making was there, the long rallies was there. Everything was in this match, guys. And Federer won in the end this match in 5 sets, and we all remember the 5th set, where Federer come back from he was under the ropes, Federer there, and he came back from being 1-3 down and won 5 straight games and won his 18th Grand Slam title. And the magnitude of the match also I look at, and this was a very, very hyped match, because both Federer and Nadal was not coming into this tournament as the favorite. The favorite was Novak Djokovic, but he lost pretty early in the tournament that year. I believe he lost in the 2nd round against Denis Istomin that year, if I'm not mistaken, Novak Djokovic. So the magnitude of this match was really high, and also because of that, many people around the world that had counted Federer out because he didn't win a slam in 5 years, since 2012 back then, and people said that Federer has won his last slam, but Federer, he proved everyone wrong. And Nadal didn't win a slam as well in 3 years in that time, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't win a slam since that 2014 French Open. So that this was a pretty hyped match, to say the least. And this is on my number 10th place. The reason I don't have this match higher is because of the length of the match. Like I said, this match had everything. Besides, it was 3 hours and 37 minutes. It needs to be a little longer for me to have this match higher on this list. Anyway, let's go on. On my number 9th place, I have the Roger Federer and Andy Roddick clash in that 2009 Wimbledon final. This is a match that not many people, I get the feeling, don't talk about, but this was a huge match, really. The match took 4 hours and 17 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Roddick had Roger Federer under the ropes in this match, for God's sakes. He won the first set, Roddick, and he had Federer under the brink in that 2nd set. He was leading that tiebreak 6-2, I remember. Oh my God, no, Roddick will never forget that tiebreak, and especially that volley. He should put that volley away on one of the set points that Roddick had on that tiebreak when he was leading 6-2, but he did a huge mistake. That is a volley that Roddick will never forget. He will never forget it. He will have nightmares as long as he lives. And Federer came back from that nightmare in that second set tiebreak and won that second set in the end, and won that tiebreak, and then won the third set. And then Roddick won the fourth set, and the fifth set was a marathon set, in which in the end Roger Federer won 16-14 after 4 hours and 17 brutal tennis. The magnitude of this match was also really huge because Federer was going for the Grand Slam record to break Pistol Pete's and win his 15th Grand Slam title, which he did because just a couple of weeks earlier he equaled the Pistol Pete's record with 14 Grand Slam titles when Federer won his maiden French Open title in 2009. And in Wimbledon he was trying to win his 15th and break the record, which he did. And Pistol Pete was on the stand as well. He was on the watching the match live in the stadium. So the magnitude of this match was really, really huge as well, which also counts on this list in my opinion. So I have this 2009 Wimbledon final between Roddick and Federer on my number 9th place. On my number 8th place, I have a match that took place in 2009 as well between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer in that epic Australian Open final. Rafa was going for his first ever Australian Open title. Until this day, he has never won the Australian Open title ever again. Since then, and that is Rafa's maiden Australian Open title, which he won after 4 hours and 23 minutes of brutal tennis in 5 sets. Of course, the 5th set Rafa won 6-2. Federer really gave everything in that match. Federer looked really good before that match. He looked really solid before that final, and he was trying to defeat Rafa Nadal and because he just 6-7 months earlier he lost an epic Wimbledon final against Rafa Nadal in that 2008, a classic Wimbledon final like we all remember, and he was trying to defeat Rafa Nadal in that Australian Open final 2009, but he just couldn't. Rafa was just too good, too solid, too brutal from the baseline. In the end, Rafa Nadal, he just weared Federer down, really. He weared him down. Federer hanged in there for over 4 hours. Like I said, the match took 4 hours and 23 minutes. But in the 5th set, Federer was just spreading too many balls, especially with his forehand. In that 5th set at least. And in the end, Rafa was just too strong, too solid, and won that 5th set 6-2. On my number 7th place, I have a clay court match. This is for me the second greatest clay court match of all time. Some of you maybe or probably have this as on number 1st place, but not me. And the match I'm talking about is between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic in that epic 2013 French Open semi-final. This was an epic one. This was a Terminator fight. This was a really good battle, guys, which Rafael Nadal won in 5 sets, of course, after 4 hours and 37 minutes of brutal tennis. We all remember Djokovic had Rafa under the brink in that 5th set and was a break up, and almost he was just inches away of defeating Rafael Nadal in that match. We all remember when he felt on the net, Novak Djokovic, when he was doing an overhead but he did a big mistake and fell on the net. Rafa won the point and braked back, and in the end took Djokovic down, I believe, 9-7, if I'm not mistaken. This was a really one of the greatest clay court matches of all time that we have ever seen. In my list, this is the second greatest clay court match of all time, not the first. The first is on this list, but it is pretty higher. So I have this match on my number 7th place. On my number 6th place, I have a match between Novak Djokovic and Stan Wawrinka in Australian Open 2013, 4th round. This is a match that not many people talks about. Maybe because it was not a semi-final or final, it was only a 4th round. But man, my God, what a 4th round it was, for God's sakes. It was a match that took 5 hours. 5 brutal hours of tennis. I remember this match. Stan Wawrinka, he won the first set 6-1. Then he was up in the lead in the second set 5-2. But Djokovic, the comeback terminator that he is, who is a better comeback player than Djokovic to turn matches around like Djokovic does? Nobody, of course. He won 5 straight games in that second set and won the second set 7-5. Then Djokovic won the 3rd set, and then Wawrinka came back, won the 4th set, and then they had a brutal, long marathon 5th set with which Djokovic won 12-10 in the end after 5 hours of brutal tennis. This is for sure one of the greatest tennis matches that I have ever seen. Not only for the length of the match, but the rallies was insane. It was just insane. They were smashing the ball. It was a slugfest, really. Especially in that 5th set. It was a slugfest. And in the end, Novak Djokovic just prevailed with really small margins. He was not much better than Stan, but it was just this little better than Stan, and won that 5th set 12-10 in the end. So this match is definitely on one of my top 10 greatest matches of all time that I've seen, and it is, and I will put it on the 6th place. On my number 5th place, I have the Wimbledon final 2019 between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. This is definitely one of the greatest matches that I have ever seen. Even though that as a Federer fan, it hurts my heart. I was devastated. I am still devastated. Just when I think about it, how close Federer was to win this battle. But Djokovic in the end was the better player. Not with much. He didn't won more points than Federer. Federer actually won 14 more points than Djokovic. So Federer maybe even was the better player. He probably was the better player, actually. He won more points, but Federer was not the better player on the crucial moments. Djokovic won all the tie breaks. Djokovic was the better player when it mattered the most, like Djokovic mostly time is. So the magnitude of this match was really huge. Federer, as 36 years old, only 1 month shy of being 37 years old, to defeat Rafa Nadal in the semifinals, which he did, and then to defeat Novak Djokovic 2 days later in the final, which he didn't. It would have been Federer's first ever time to defeat his 2 top shift rivals back-to-back in a Grand Slam tournament, and he was only 1 point of doing it, because we all remember that 16th game in the 5th set when Federer was serving for the match, but he just couldn't convert on those 2 championship points, unfortunately. And the magnitude of this match was also because it was the first ever time that a Wimbledon final was decided in a tiebreak, which they played tiebreak after 12 all. They played the tiebreak, which Djokovic won, I believe 7-3, if I'm not mistaken. So this is definitely one on my top 10 greatest matches of all time that I've seen, and I put this on the 5th place. On my 4th place, I have that classic Wimbledon final in 2008 between Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer. And some of you maybe has this match as the greatest tennis match of all time. Me personally, no. Why? I just feel that this match is great. Absolutely, it's definitely one of the greatest tennis matches of all time. And I have this match as high as number 4. I forgot to mention the Djokovic and Federer Wimbledon final. It took 4 hours and 55 minutes, so almost 5 hours battle, guys. The Wimbledon final 2019 between Djokovic and Federer. All right, on number 4th place, like I said, Federer and Nadal in that epic classic Wimbledon final 2008. This match took 4 hours and 48 minutes. This match had a huge magnitude, because Federer was going for his 6th straight Wimbledon title to break Björn Borg's record. We all know that he equaled Björn Borg's record in 2007, and he was going to break it in 2008, but Rafa Nadal, he was just too good. I don't know if I have ever seen Rafa Nadal do a better grass court match than this one. Maybe he has done a better match, a match that I will talk about soon. Man, if you look at Rafa's stats in that 2008 Wimbledon final, he did 60 winners. Oh my God, 60 winners. And only 27 unforced errors. Only 27. Federer, he didn't do his match of his life on grass. Federer did a good match. But if you look at Federer's stats, he did 52 unforced errors. Yeah, he did 89 winners that match, Federer. That is a lot of winners, 89. But 52, if you compare Federer, what Federer did, say in 2014 Wimbledon final against Djokovic, Federer did only 29 unforced errors against Djokovic in the 2014 Wimbledon final. Yeah, he did less winners, 75, but Federer actually did a better match in 2014 Wimbledon final than he did in 2008 Wimbledon final. Federer was not superior in that 2008 Wimbledon final. 52 unforced errors, man. That is too much. But Nadal was, I don't know if I've ever seen Nadal do a better tennis match on grass than that match. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Only 27 unforced errors in a match that took 4 hours and 48 minutes. And he did 60 winners and only 6 aces of those winners. Only 6. So Rafa does 54 clean winners if you take out his aces. So Nadal did one of his greatest grass court matches of his life, maybe even the greatest grass court match of his life. Federer, not his greatest grass court match of his life. No, especially the returns. He was awful in returning. Federer had 13 break point opportunities and he converted only in 1. So this match is on my number 4th place. On my number 3rd place, I have a clay court match. Actually, this was my God, what a match this was. This is a match that not many people are talking about, because it was, maybe the reason of that is because it was not a Grand Slam match. And the match I'm talking about is the Rome final between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. It took 5 hours and 5 minutes of brutal tennis. The first 2 sets was tie breaks. The first tie break, Roger Federer won 7-0, I remember. Roger did, I don't know if Roger has ever done a better tiebreak than that tiebreak. Then the second set also was a tiebreak. Rafa won it. The third set, Rafa won it. Rafa was in the lead 2-1. Then Roger came back, won the 4th set. And the 5th set, then Roger had a break up. I believe Roger was leading 4-1 in that 5th set. But Rafa came back. Roger had 2 championship points in that 12th game, when Rafa was serving in that 6-5 game to try to get the match into a tiebreak. But Roger did 2 crucial forehand mistakes, like Roger actually does in crucial moments when it comes to forehand. Roger forehand is definitely one of the greatest forehands of all time that we have ever seen. But when it comes to crucial moments, that forehand can be really, really, it can tighten up, and it really did in those 2 championship points against Rafa Nadal in that Rome final 2006. And it is not the first time that forehand has let Roger Federer down in crucial moments. I have seen it do it in other matches as well. Rafa took that set to a tiebreak, and Roger actually had a lead in that tiebreak as well in that 5th set. He was leading 4-2, he was leading 5-3, But again, Roger's forehand let him down. Again, when he was leading 5-3 in that tiebreak, Roger's forehand, he just get nervous when it comes to crucial moments. He cannot hit his forehand freely. He does unforced errors. So Rafa won 4 straight points from being down 3-5 and won that tiebreak 7-5 in the end after 5 hours and 5 minutes of brutal tennis. This is the greatest clay court match that I have ever seen in my entire life. This match had everything. Just 3 weeks before, Roger Federer lost the Monte Carlo final in 4 sets, and he said after the match, I need to do different things next time I face him on clay. I need to be more aggressive. And my God, Roger was. He approaches the net 84 times. You know that in that Rome final? 84 times. And won 64 times of those points. 64 times. He lost only 20 points on the net. So it was definitely a superior, aggressive Roger Federer who went in that final against Rafa Nadal, and he almost defeated him. I have never seen Roger Federer do a better clay court match than that match. But in the end, he lost to the greatest clay court player of all time. In a match that Roger, in my opinion, should have won, considering that he had 2 championship points and he was going for his forehand, but he did crucial mistakes. All right, on my second place, I have a Wimbledon match, guys, and that was the Wimbledon semi-final 2018 between Djokovic and Nadal. This was a huge match. This, to me, is the greatest Wimbledon match that I've ever seen. Some of you maybe have the 2008 Classic match between Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer. Some of you have maybe the 2019 Classic match between Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. But to me, it is the 2018 semi-final between Djokovic and Rafa Nadal. The match took 5 hours and 15 minutes. It had everything. Drama, shot-making, intensity, huge long rallies, everything basically. You didn't know who would win until the last point was over. And after 5 hours and 15 minutes, Novak Djokovic ended as the winner. I have never in my life seen a better grass court match than this one. This match definitely deserves to be up there, and it is on my second place as the greatest, as top 10 greatest tennis matches of all time in my life that I have seen. This match was just, man, this was fascinating to see. It was just amazing. I was breathtaking to see this match from the first point to the last point. And this is the match I was I was talking about earlier in the video. Maybe this is the match. Maybe this is the grass court match that Rafa has done better than 2008. Maybe, because in 2008 Rafa did a superior grass court match against Federer in that final, but Federer was not superior in that 2008 Wimbledon final, in my opinion. Federer was good, but was he superior? No. But in this match, both Djokovic and both Nadal, they both was superior. They both did a marvelous, outrageous, good performance. So maybe this match from Rafa Nadal was even better than in the 2008 Wimbledon final. Maybe, I'm not 100% certain about that. But in this match, Djokovic was just too good. He was also superior. The match could, of course, gone either way, but in the end, Djokovic was just slightly better, especially on clutch moments, like Djokovic always is. He's the greatest tennis player of all time when it comes to clutch big moments. It is not any new news. So I have this match on my second place. On my first place, guys, you probably have guessed it out now who that match will be, and it is, of course, the 2012 Australian Open final between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. My dear God, this is the greatest tennis match that I've ever witnessed. 5 hours and 53 minutes, 5 brutal sets. Rafa Nadal won the first set, then Djokovic won the second and third set. Rafa then won the fourth set in a tiebreak, and then the fifth set. My God, what a match this was. Rafa was in the lead, like we all remember, a breakup. Djokovic came back, and then Djokovic in the end prevailed 7-5 in that fifth set, in that fifth crucial set, after 5 hours and 53 minutes of brutal Terminator, amazing tennis. This is definitely for me the greatest tennis match of all time that I've witnessed. You guys maybe have another match that you rank as the greatest tennis match of all time, but me personally, I have this one. All right, guys, this was a long video. I hope you guys didn't get bored. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and bye bye.